Welcome back to the Fadhili family YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing and liking this YouTube video. For our returning subscribers, thank you so much for being a part of this family. And in today's video, for the very first time, we are going to be making homemade bread. As a family, we have come to realize homemade bread is a lot cheaper. So for the bread ingredients, we shall require 3 cups of all-purpose wheat flour. Next, we shall require 10 grams of instant dry yeast. Next, we shall require a 1/4 teaspoonful of salt. Then we shall require about 15 milliliters of cooking oil. And of course, we shall require water to mix the flour. So for the water, we shall eyeball so that we get the right consistency. So besides the ingredients, I have my mixing bowl. I have my baking paper. And lastly, I have my bread baking tin. So I'll start with my home baking flour, the 3 cups. So this is 1 cup. This is the second one. And on to the last one. That's my 3rd cup. So I'm starting with the dry ingredients first. So I'll put away my flour. So next, I will put in the dry instant yeast. This is 10 grams. So I'll sprinkle it over the flour. The entire sachet. And for our last dry ingredients is table salt, which I will put in a 1/4 teaspoonful. Also sprinkle this over the yeast and flour. So after putting the 3 dry ingredients, I will mix them up. You can use a wooden spoon or a fork or your hands, depending with what you prefer. So mix them up. So next, I will put a small hole into my mixture and pour in water. So water will just eyeball as we mix the dough. So first I will mix with my spoon. Add some more water. So we'll keep adding water until we are ready to use our hands. And our water is room temperature water. So I'm done kneading, as you can see. Happy with the way the dough looks. So guys, what I've realized, for the 3 cups of flour, it has taken me exactly 1 glass of water to get the dough to the way it looks. So make sure you knead your dough thoroughly so that you activate the gluten in the wheat. So the next step, I will add in my oil. This was about 15 milliliters of oil. So I'll make a small hole in the dough. And measure my oil. About 15 ml. And into the small hole. Then mix the oil together with the dough. Then use the folding method and fold in the dough into the oil. Make sure the oil gets into all the dough. So the oil has really made the dough become very soft, as you can see, guys. So the next step is now to leave our dough to rest so that our yeast can activate. And I will leave it for 1 hour in room temperature, and I will cover it with a dry kitchen cloth. So it's been 1 hour since we covered our dough to allow the yeast to activate. So let us unveil the dough after 1 hour, and wow, the dough has risen to twice the size that we covered it. I'm sure you remember what it looked like. This is very good. So I'll punch out the air. As you can see, it looks very nice. The yeast has really activated. So what I will do next, on a clean work surface, I will sprinkle some flour. Sprinkle some flour on the work surface. I will take my dough. It's very spongy. It appears I have to add some more dough so that it doesn't stick on the surface. So I'll now roll out the dough. Remember, you're rolling it out, putting in mind the size of your baking tin. So I have rolled my dough to match the size of my baking tin. As you can see, my baking tin is rectangle, very long, just like the dough. So I will roll the dough, fold it in like that. Fold this backwards. Then prepare your baking tin. I have put my baking paper into the baking tin. So I will take my dough carefully, then put it into the baking tin like that. So my dough has fitted into my baking tin very well. That's the trick in rolling. Make sure you have the size of your baking tin in mind so that your dough does not exceed or become very small. So I will leave this covered for another 20 minutes. So I'll cover it with a kitchen cloth for 20 minutes. So see you in 20 minutes. So our bread has been sitting in the baking tin for the last 20 minutes. So let's unveil before we can put it in the oven. And wow, it looks amazing. It has risen to the bread shape. It has taken the shape of the tin. So at this point in time, you can brush the top of the bread. You can either use egg, you can use butter, or leave it to cook as plain as it looks. So I will brush mine towards the last 5 minutes of the baking process with some butter. So let's put it in the oven to bake. So I'm putting my bread into the oven. My oven is at 180 degrees. It's going to bake the bread for 20 minutes. So see you in 20 minutes. So our bread is almost ready. I want to brush the top with some melted butter, just to give it a glaze once it's ready. So our bread is ready and resting on a tray. Happy with the results. And this shall be eaten for breakfast. So be sure to give our recipe a try and let us know on the comment section how it turned out for you. Remember, there are very many variations of making bread, but you can try ours. So until you see us again on our next video, remain blessed and goodbye.